On April 27, 2018, Lower Township Police received a call from a concerned citizen saying that they noticed a black Chevrolet truck driving erratically at a very high speed. The caller also told police that the driver ran a light and nearly collided with oncoming traffic, risking multiple lives while doing so. Shortly after, 2 police officers were assigned to deal with the situation. They quickly located the driver, who, according to the officers, was struggling to maintain their lane of travel. Not only that, they also noticed the vehicle crossed over the center line as well as the fog line numerous times. Noticing all these dangerous signs, the cops signaled the driver to pull over the truck. However, he kept on pressing for another half a mile before complying with the officer's commands. To the police officer's surprise, the driver was identified as Lower Township Police Lieutenant John A. Chu. Realizing this, the cop's demeanor changed from all professional to friendly and considerate, way more than it should have been. As it was, Lieutenant Chu was having a hard time comprehending the reality, which suggested that he was driving under the influence. He struggled to answer the officer's questions. It was clear that both responding officers were having a hard time deciding what they were going to do, given that they had pulled over their senior. Not knowing what to do, as the driver was not an ordinary citizen, but a police lieutenant, the lead officer called his supervisor to find out what their next move should be.
Hey, I'm sorry to bother you. My mic's live, so you know, at this point. I mean, my camera. We had an erratic driver call. Lieutenant Chu. We got him on a 38, honeysuckle and Idell. I'm in charge right now. I just wanted to call and let you know. I'm not saying that yet. I haven't went up to the. Nucius went up to the car. I kind of stayed back.
Did the caller?
Yes, sir. And Idell, right down the street from his residence. Okay. Yes, sir.
The supervisor advised him to follow all the policies of DUI arrest. He also told the officer not to turn off his body cam. Although the officer wished that the lieutenant was all right, Chu's condition said it all. Reluctantly and with some fear, the officer informed the lieutenant that they had to conduct field sobriety tests to find whether he was under the influence or not.
Trust us, we don't want to be put in this position either.
No. Again.
Can you step out, sir? He's just going to talk to you. You know how it is. He's going to ask you some questions, make sure you're all right.
I'm fine.
Although the lieutenant complied with his junior's commands, it was clear that it was a new thing for him. Being held accountable, and that too by his subordinates, wasn't really something that Chu had imagined. But there was no going back now, and everything he said and did was being recorded on camera. Conducting field sobriety tests, the officer asked Chu to follow his finger with his eyes. However, Chu was having a hard time even standing still. After the lieutenant failed the test miserably, the officer asked him to attempt yet another field sobriety test. He asked Chu to walk in a straight line, but given his condition, this proved to be an impossible task for the lieutenant. Although the officer explained everything in great detail, Chu forgot it right away. Have a look at what happened as he tried to walk in a straight line.
I have to call the reporting party. Get into it if you are
2, 3. On the 9th step, I want you to take a serious forward step and turn back around.
Just stand by on that. I'll give you a call when I
Take
quit.
9 steps back. 1, 2, 3. When you start the test, until you're finished. Count each step out loud. While you're counting, I want you to look down at your feet. Do you understand those instructions? Can you get back in the starting position for me, please, sir? Left foot on the line, right foot in front of you. Begin.
Within a few seconds of being explained everything about the test, the lieutenant forgot it, and instead of walking in a strictly straight line, he appeared to be taking a stroll in a park. Although it was clear that the lieutenant wasn't in control of his body, there was still a test to conduct. The officer told Chu that the next and last field sobriety test was the single leg stance test. but the lieutenant had had enough. Realizing that there was no way he was going to evade the law, Chu gave up, but his juniors knew what it meant and that they would eventually have to arrest him. Explaining the obvious to him, the responding officer said,
"We're going to have to bring you in and put you on the box based on the test. You know we don't want to do this. We have to do everything's recorded. You understand that?"
No, I get that.
But even though the lieutenant was the one breaking the law, the officers employed an apologetic tone in behavior. After knowing the fact that there was no way he would save himself from being arrested, the lieutenant appeared very upset and angry. He even asked the officers who called the police and complained against him.
I would love to know who called.
You can find that out. You know that. You can find out. I don't know who called. I do not know, but you know you'll be able to find that out. We did not know we were looking for this truck, sir. Came out as an erratic driver. Handled it how any cops would have. But unfortunately, we're in a situation now.
No, I get it. I totally get it.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I would never disrespect. No, I wouldn't.
And I wouldn't disrespect you either, sir. So with all respect, can we get you back there so we can get you off the street, get away from this?
I'm not going back to the PD.
I'll tell you at this point, our hands are tied. I mean, I hope you understand.
I totally get it.
And we don't want to make the situation any worse, sir.
No, listen,
You know?
I
know you're not gonna-
not make it worse.
I understand that. I know you wouldn't. That's what I'm saying. If we can get you in the back of the car, get you out of here.
After explaining the scenario to Chu courteously, the officer arrested him and put him in handcuffs, though he didn't forget that the lieutenant was his senior and treated him way differently than he would have any ordinary civilian. Chu was later transported to the police station, where he was faced with another lieutenant who read him his Miranda rights. Chu's behavior toward the other lieutenant was not very nice. He kept showing his middle finger while throwing a bunch of F-words. Chu was booked on the charges of driving under the influence and was presented in court on September 13, 2018. He pled guilty to the charges of DUI, which resulted in revocation of his driving license. But that was not the only punishment. After losing his driver's license for a duration of 7 months, Chu had to install an ignition interlock device for the following 6 months. Additionally, as part of his penalty, he was obliged to dedicate at least 6 hours per day over 2 consecutive days attending an intoxicated driver resource center. These centers offer comprehensive 12-hour educational sessions focusing on imparting knowledge about New Jersey's alcohol and drug laws, as well as the impact of alcohol and drugs on the body and driving capabilities. Not only that, but John Chu was also terminated by the Lower Township Police Department. We saw how things change when cops have to arrest one of their own, in contrast to when they enforce the law over ordinary citizens. However, the good thing is that Chu got what he deserved. If you want to watch more of these videos and want to expose more corrupt cops, please subscribe to the channel.